Everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So firstly I would like to apologise because I haven't uploaded a YouTube video in a very long time. I was planning to do a birthday vlog, but I'm going to wait because the weather kind of went out of hands and stuff, so I wasn't able to have my little barbecue that I was meant to be having. So I'm going to wait to do that one next week, which it will be with you guys very soon, which a lot of you wanted to see. But my other second really recommended video was me about my given birth story life. So today I'm going to explain exactly, well, try and remember exactly what happened when I gave birth. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into this video. So, giving birth. Now, there are so many different ways of explaining about giving birth, because the first question that a lot of people ask is it painful? And the correct answer is yes. Now, obviously, some people very rarely say that it's like period pains or like pushing out a poo or something. Now, for me, it wasn't really like period pains. The actual process of when River, my son, he actually came out was, yeah, I would say like pushing like a poo, which sounds really odd and you're all gonna probably cringe right now, but that is very true. So firstly, what happened was, my story is a little bit odd because it wasn't like the natural kind of giving birth kind of thing. So it all started off, I was in my bed on my phone, just chilling out, and basically I thought my waters broke, and they kind of did, because I was sat in my bed and all of a sudden just water was all over my bed sheet. So obviously I screamed for my mum. I was like, Mum, like what is happening here? Because I was getting no pain with anything. Like it was just like loads of just water just came out. So obviously I didn't realise kind of what that was. I just thought, right, I'm going to go straight into birth right now, and literally nothing happened. So I was meant to give birth in Cosham Hospital. So we rang Cosham Hospital and they basically said, yeah, you need to come in now. You probably will likely or definitely be going to labour at any moment now. So we went into Cosham Hospital, still nothing happened in the car. I was literally just chilling. I was thinking, okay, like this is a little bit odd. I'm getting no pain, which I thought I was just really lucky, which at the end of it, I really wasn't. Yes, so anyway, we went into Cosham Hospital, and a lovely midwife, they're all lovely in there, really nice place, basically said, okay, so your front waters have broke but not your back waters. So I was a little bit confused because thinking, oh, I actually didn't realise there was two lots of waters. Like I just thought it was one and that was the end of it. So basically, yeah, my front waters broke, which is just the first kind of seal, and obviously the second ones need to break. So she basically said, right, you need to go home. Obviously, your front waters have broke, which is really, really good. You just need to basically wait till you go into labour. She said, if you do not go into labour till 12 o'clock at night, then you need to go to Southmead, because obviously it can cause infection. Past saying that like 3 hours, nothing happened still. My mum was asking me, oh my God, how are you? Like going crazy, thinking like I'm actually gonna be in pain like any second, which literally I wasn't. So it was a bit odd. So yeah, that was it. And then I decided that I wanted to go to Little Shop to New Look, which is so random because you're meant to be going to labour, and I was just like going to New Look and shopping. So I thought, oh no, I need to get some nice pyjamas before I give birth, because why not? And that's me, because I'm a little bit nutty. So I was in Longwell Green and I was shopping with my mum, and I got some really cute little pyjamas. So after I gave birth, I could kind of feel a bit more like comfortable and stuff. So yeah, I was shopping, and then I bumped into my nan, really funny enough, and she was in Sainsbury's, like going around. No, not Sainsbury's. She go to Asda, I can't remember. Anyway, she was in one of the shops, and basically we bumped into my nan. She was like, are you actually going into labour? And I was like, everyone was just a bit like, what? And I was like, well, I'm meant to be, but I just haven't got home. And it come to like just a few hours obviously going forward. I got home and I just watched a bit of TV, and it came to about like 8 o'clock, and I thought, oh, should I have a bath? Should I do my hair and makeup? Yes. I like tanned mine. This was like proper. It didn't look like I was tanned in the photos, but literally I did like, it wasn't a proper tan. It was just a bronzer type thing you just rub into your skin after you have a bath. So yeah, so I did that. I shaved. I did my hair. I did my makeup. Obviously not full makeup, like proper full makeup, but I just did it so I was literally like looking okay-ish, instead of like completely dead before I did give birth. So yeah, I was kind of planning to kind of like it be really chilled, and like I was still chilling, and it came to 11:30 and I still didn't give birth. So basically I rang up Southmead with my mum, and I was literally like, I still haven't gone into birth, what do I do? Like, obviously they Cosham advised me to go to you guys, so this is my situation. And they basically said, yeah, you need to come straight now, because I think they're more worried about, they seemed a little, I wasn't angry at me, but they seemed a bit confused because they were like, oh, you should have come straight in. But obviously Cosham advised me to obviously chill out and just wait. But obviously it's really I didn't really know how dangerous it was, because obviously if I get any infection or anything, that is really, like, that can go to river, like my baby. Not gonna lie, not to scare anyone at all, but I just really didn't like Southmead. Like, I just don't like hospitals as it is. Like, it's just not, I don't feel comfortable, hence why I chose Cosham, because it's more homey, it was relaxing. So yeah, I went in there, and I didn't unfortunately have the nicest of nurses that actually were like checking my blood and stuff before like they started off the labour and stuff. So that was a bit, it made me really uncomfortable. I remember like it was like really old, and like you had like just that blue little like, not click, what is it called, like curtain that like you pull, and it was just, there's people there and you're thinking, I want to be more in private, hence why Cosham was really private. So that's why I wanted to like have. She went through all this information with me. She was like, okay, so first of all, how are you feeling? I was like, well, I'm literally don't feel no pain, like, is this what it's meant to be? Because obviously definitely it isn't. And she said, okay, right, so we need to break your other waters now, like this needs to happen. So basically I don't know, I can't remember, because I was a bit out of it, because I was just really stressed. I didn't really think about what they're actually saying to me. I just wanted to happen, I just wanted to get out of the way. So probably I should have asked my mum this, but I remember she had to basically attach something to my baby's head. And I don't know if that was before or after, just to check everything was okay with the baby, but I think she did that first. So basically that started the contractions off. So she literally, and I'm just gonna, I mean, there's no other way to say it basically, and I just have to say it. So basically, if it's just your hand, I'd probably say from your elbow to your hand, that went right up, and she basically attached something to my baby's head. Now that was very painful, because I had nothing, I had no gas and air, like that was just meant to happen, like you're just meant to be fine with that. I was like, whoa, like definitely not, like that was actually probably more painful than that pushing out your child, which seems a bit extreme, but it literally honestly was for me anyway, personally. I was chilling, nothing was happening. And in that time, my mum rang Jack and said, look, like, this is the situation. He was waiting in the car park, and then he couldn't come in at that stage because only one person was allowed with you in the area I was, until I actually went to the birthing suite. So basically my mum was just with me, and obviously probably Jack was stressed in the car. So that was a bit stressful. And yeah, so basically I think it took probably about an hour and a half actually. An hour and a half, I started getting contractions. Now, obviously these contractions weren't natural, because I actually had to have someone go up there and basically make my baby contract me, which sounds really odd. So yeah, it wasn't natural, and honestly, like, the best I can describe was I felt like I couldn't sit still. Like it was like, I would say if you get a pair of scissors and stab your stomach 10 times, which I know you're not going to know what it feels like. I don't know if anyone had the same as me, but put your comments down below, because basically if you obviously gave birth, but for me personally, I literally could not sit down with my contractions. Like I literally felt like I had to go to the toilet constantly. And I remember like I had to go, I was like, Mum, I need to go to the toilet. She's like, no you don't. And even the nurse like, no you don't need to go to the toilet, it's just because the pain that you just can't sit down. But a lot of people that I've spoke to have said like, oh no, they just like sit down and they just have to like breathe. But I literally could not sit down. I could not breathe either. So yeah, that was quite scary. And then they just got worse and worse and worse. And then I had like a little red alarm next to me, and basically this lady was like in and out, like she wasn't, I'm not gonna be nasty, but they just weren't that supportive. Like she was just going in and out, I didn't really know what was happening. Like I didn't feel like there was someone kind of stuck there by my side, which I know there's other people that are in the same situation that needs help, but because I was like a young mum as well, I was only 18 mine, so it was more the fact that I was just scared in general. And I had my mum and everything, but I just didn't know what was happening. She was coming in and out the room. I was in pain. When you're in pain, you don't really listen. You don't really connect to anyone. You're in pain. And I thought that maybe in that section, which I had no kind of like, I had nothing, no gas, no mind, literally nothing. And it was horrible. I just thought maybe, someone would have been there a little bit more. So I pressed the red button, and basically that red button alerts to like nurses or anyone that's around in the ward that I'm really in pain and like I really need someone here now. So basically I pressed that button. I literally could not stand the pain. Now I might sound a bit of a wimp when actually giving birth is not being wimpish at all. Like it's literally painful. Like it doesn't matter if you need pain relief. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day you are giving birth to this human and it is obviously going to be painful. So when that radiologist, she came in, she thought, oh, what's the matter? And I was literally like, it's just really, I literally couldn't even speak. So obviously she knew by the thought that I couldn't speak that, yeah, I need to go to the birthing suite. So basically I remember being put on a wheelchair, my mum was there, and the nurse put me to the birthing suite, and as soon as I got into the birthing suite, I felt a lot better actually. Like I felt more safe, and just more kind of, someone was there, like there was 2 people there speaking you through, like, okay, like this is the situation, this is what's gonna happen next. But when before I didn't really know what was happening at all, so that was quite nice. And basically Jack was waiting when I was coming up in the wheelchair. Jack was there waiting next to the birthing suite door, so that was quite good. He was there, so it was like he wasn't late or anything, you know, he was there. We went in and they said basically to sign these forms if you need like a blood transfusion. Yeah, blood transfusion. So basically, obviously I signed it and said yeah, because at the end of the day, if you need it, you need it, and that's it. So I ticked basically all the boxes. I didn't want an epidural. I did, but I'll get into that in a minute. I didn't want one, but I still ticked yes to everything, because you don't know what you're going to be like in pain. So at the end of the day, you might as well just tick it and just go with the flow, and just to make sure your baby's safe, really. So I ticked all that, and then basically as soon as she said, right, we're going to put a needle in your hand, I basically said to her, right, I'm in pain. Obviously I was in pain at the same time as this, but I basically just said to her, look, I really don't like needles at all. I literally feel like I'm going to faint even looking at a needle, because I just wasn't very good with needles anyway. So let alone them putting one in my hand, was in pain. I was like, right, can I have gas in there, please? Why you put this needle in my hand? Can we just start off with that, because that will help me? So anyway, I had this gas in there, and I honestly genuinely think gas in there really did save me, because it was so strong. Like I remember her I could literally, I mean, I could feel a little bit, but I literally couldn't act the pain, like, because I don't like the pain of that spiky pain when they put it in you. Like it was literally in hair. Hair, was it hair? I think it was hair. And I remember her putting it into me. I just felt really numb, and that was such a nice feeling. So obviously I was just taking in like as much gas now I can, because I couldn't deal with like the needle at all. This one, it goes a little bit blurry, because when I had lots of gas in there, I just remember like not a lot. I just remember it kind of being quite blurry and fuzzy, and it just kind of being a really long process. Now when you're on gas now, a lot of people say, oh, it's really fast, it goes by fast, but I was in labour for 48 hours. Now that is a long time. Now obviously I was 2 weeks early as well, so me and my mum obviously prepared us in like the bag and stuff, but we didn't prepare any food. Like my mum was there, she had literally no food on her. Other people can't actually go up, like you have to actually exit out of the hospital to go and get things if people like dropped you off food and stuff. So it was really awkward. So anyway, I remember them saying to me that I think I said I was hungry or thirsty. Now I don't know why, but I wasn't allowed to eat or drink, so they basically gave me this tablet which basically stopped me from eating and drinking for 48 hours, and it didn't make you feel hungry, so that was really good. So that helped. I started getting more pain, and basically they have to examine you, I think it's like every half an hour or something. So you have to examine, check the baby's in the right position, if the baby's moved, because obviously that causes a lot of issues if the baby is like upside down or something, or in a different position as they were. So yeah, so they checked that, and basically I literally just couldn't stand getting examined. Now the reason why I don't think I could I just did like the examination, which I mean was from your elbow to the top of your roof of your hand, is because I had a bad experience going back like a few hours ago with the lady that did that. So I was thinking, no, I can't deal with that at all. So obviously they had to do it, but I was just in pain. Like I just couldn't stand it. It was just really uncomfortable for me, and I just didn't like it. So basically they were like, right then, I think because you can't stand the pain, I think we're gonna have to give you an epidural, so you just can't feel anything at all, which I think was the best case, and that's what happened. So basically they said, right, we're gonna put epidural into your back, into your spine, sorry, so around your back. So basically mine had like my massive bump as well, and I had to lean over like this, like proper lean over, and they basically had to try and pull it in. Now it took them about an hour to figure out why it wasn't going in my back, which is really odd. So I remember this, they basically said to my mum, has your daughter had like back problems, or she broke her back? And my mum was like, no. And obviously my mum, this is like really bad moment, because obviously couldn't put it in my back. I had about, I think 4 like people in the room like trying to like put this thing in my back, and it was just really stressful. My mum was like, God, like what's happened to her back now, thinking like I haven't told her sorry about I broke my back, which I haven't at all. But basically they said my vertebrae was so tight together and so close that even the slightest, like they just couldn't get the needle in, and obviously if they went wrong, like you can get paralyzed, so it's really serious. So Basically, they got someone else, like one of the, I don't know what surgeon he was, but he came in. Like, I just remember lots of people coming in thinking, oh my god, we can't get this epidural into her back, and she's like screaming in pain, like we're going to have to operate, like that's the end situation at the end of the day. But obviously they didn't want to, so yeah, they still tried to put it in, they couldn't put it in, and then basically they had to get the top person to come in. I don't actually think they were actually in the hospital, like they had to give a call saying like, we need your help. I don't think, maybe he wasn't working or something, but they literally no one, like I mean at this point now, it's like I remember like dots of people just everywhere, and like obviously it was gas in there, so I could see it was just dots, but I just remember like, I think my mum said at one point, or someone was like 10 people in the room, I think. I actually don't know, I can't remember, like, I might just be saying this, but I feel like there was a lot of people in the room. Finally they actually did put it in my back, but obviously it took them that long, that obviously the process of me actually gonna give birth was quite close as well, I think. So that was quite scary. So anyway, as soon as that went in, it was actually a lot better. I could feel the pain of them obviously putting from this top bit, I'm not gonna actually say it 'cause it's just a bit grim, but from this bit to this bit up there was actually not, like, it was fine. I mean, it was still uncomfortable, it wasn't like painful. Like, I found, like, people say that's just uncomfortable, but for me that was really painful, so that stops, that was really good. Now, a lot of people say when you have your epidural you can't really feel your contractions. Yes, for me personally, I could feel them, definitely. I knew when to push, I knew exactly all those kind of situations. Some people just can't, but for generally me, I don't know how, I don't know why, but I could feel it. So yeah, that was still not the greatest, but it was definitely dying down the pain from what I was at the start. Like, it was extremely painful, not to scare you guys, but at the end of the day, giving birth is painful, and something you all have to do one day eventually if you decide to have children. Kept needing to weigh and stuff, or wanting to go to the toilet, so basically I had to put a catheter up there, which basically is a long pipe that goes up and to your stomach, which is also very grim. And I also I think that was one of the worst things I've actually ever had done to my life in like surgery or anything, because it was just, I remember just putting them up there and attaching it, and it was into your insides, and you're just like, and I could feel the pain. Like, as soon as you move you can feel it down there, like moving, so as soon as you move you can feel the pipe, and I was just like, oh my god, it makes me feel sick. Like, even thinking about it now, it gives me goosebumps, because I remember just the slight move of your leg, you could feel it there, and it was just horrible. I had a few questions that you're saying, I mean, not direct, but saying basically when you give birth, like, do you just poo? Like, what happens? Yes, you can poo, because obviously if you have epidural you can't feel your bowels, so you can't feel your going, I don't think. I can't actually remember if that's correct, but you just can't feel certain things. When you give birth you might poo. It's all natural. Me personally, I didn't, I just weed, hence why I had a catheter to put in, so it was like a bag which filled up with wee, which is really grim also. But yeah, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, a lot of people, I worried about that, saying, oh my god, what if I poo if I give birth? But who cares? Honestly, I promise you now, if you're pregnant or going to give birth and you worry about these things, you will not worry at all. I won't say the pain, but the whole situation you're in, all you care about is your baby coming out healthy, maybe the pain, and just basically getting it all over and done with. Like, that was those three main things that you don't think, like, before you give birth you think of the little things, like, oh my god, like, I don't know, like my hair or something, which I thought was like, oh, I want to do my makeup. And I say, honestly, you literally don't care. You're in that moment, you're in that zone, and it just happens. So yeah, yeah, you can poo in your when you give birth, and also during the contractions and your process of giving birth. I said to one of the nurses, I need to push, and she was like, no you don't. And I was like, hun, yes I do. Like, I had that feeling, and like, you just know, your body just knows. Now, a lot of people say, oh my god, like, what happens when you give birth? Like, how? Like, what's the understatement? Your body just takes over. Like, that's all I can say. And women's bodies are just absolutely unreal. Like, I didn't know to the point until it actually happened to be that, wow, like, my body should just done that. Like, obviously you push, but your body tells you when to do those things. Like, your body already recognizes those situations and understands, yeah, you need to push. So basically I started pushing, Lee was like, no you don't, and then basically they thought, wait a minute, they looked and they could see River's head. So your body just automatically knows, unless obviously you go into surgery, that's a little bit different, but I had obviously quite a natural-ish birth, so yeah, I basically just push, and then I just push and push and push, and then he came out. The actual coming out was probably him coming out was obviously the best part overall, like, in general, because your baby's here, but the actual pain-free bit, I would probably say the pushing bit, because it's like, half and half, like your baby's half out, half not, and it was just that kind of like excitement. And I mean, I'm smiling because it makes me so happy, because I just remember him coming out and it was really emotional. Like yeah, it was just an amazing feeling, just having your child there and knowing he's safe and he's just about to come out. And like, oh, it's such a crazy feeling, and I can't wait for everyone else to, if you want to have kids, to experience that, because the feeling of love and pride and everything, joy, just everything I can name that's positive, just comes to your chest. I saw my placenta, which is really, really rare. A lot of people said, oh my god, you see your placenta? Yes, I did see my placenta, and it was a bit grim, and no, I didn't keep it. I wish I did, actually. Now that sounds, people have their opinions on this, but apparently if you keep your placenta and like cook it, it's like really, really good for you, like your body's really good, which is quite intriguing. So I'm not sure if I'll do it if I have another baby again. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting, and I kind of wish I did like do that, because I think it's quite cool. Now some people are like, oh my god, you're disgusting, which it does sound grim, but at the end of the day, it's a part of you and it's a part of your body, so it's like me, like it's you, so I don't think it's that grim. So yeah, anyway, so I saw my placenta. That was really cool, a bit odd, but I was like, oh, it's my placenta. Mine, when you're pregnant, like that's what they talk about, is your placenta and everything, so I was like, oh my god, and that was quite cool. And then yeah, so when I gave birth, they put River straight onto my chest. Oh my god, he was just so adorable. Like I remember just having him there, and he actually, I'm going to try and put a photo down below in a minute, and he literally just grabbed onto my finger, and it was just, oh my god, it was just the cutest thing ever. Actually, it's so emotional because he was so tiny then. So yeah, he was just on my chest, and basically it was really odd because one of his eyes wasn't opening, so we thought we had like an eye problem or something, but no, it just took a long time for his eyes to open. He was just a perfect colour. Like he didn't already have, like, it's odd, but he didn't really already have any blood on him. He was a bit blue, but like he was just like the perfect child. Like he just came out and it was just like he wasn't even dirty. I was like, how are you not even, it was just mad. Like yeah, it was just crazy. I remember him wearing him and stuff, and it was just an amazing feeling, really. And then I knew, obviously, the name was going to be River. I just knew, me and Jack knew, that's what we agreed on, and it just suited him to a T, really. Like he looked like a river. He was a river. A lot of people say that, oh, you don't know your baby until you name it, but we did, and he did look like a river, so that was great. They basically said you need stitches done, you've got internal stitches, so that was good. I didn't kind of have stitches from, a lot of people have stitches from the bum towards, so I didn't have that. I was really lucky. I just had actually small internal stitches, which was fine. And basically I didn't even care. Like I literally didn't care again. I mean it was a little bit uncomfortable, the stitching, obviously, because it's delicate down there, but it wasn't like, I was just so overwhelmed that my child was actually here, and I actually gave birth and I actually have a child, that I didn't really care. Like it was just, yeah, get on with it. Like it was mad, really. And I remember him on my chest, and obviously they were stitching me up at the same time, but you just look at your child, you think, oh my god, like I can't think or look at anyone else in the world. I can just look at you because you're mine. And it was just amazing. I said, look, can I have this needle out of my hand now, because I can't stand needles. She was basically like, yeah, we can only take your needle out if you have your first wee. So I was like, right, that's it, I'm up. Someone have my baby, I'm getting this needle out my arm. So I think Jack and my mum had the baby, and I just went straight to the toilet. Mine, I was so nervous because when you go, so nervous because when you go to the toilet for the first time, it's really odd. I was thinking, shite. I should probably swear on here. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be really weird going to the toilet for the time, but I literally didn't care. I literally don't like needles to that extent that I needed it out my arm, because I just even looking at it, because I wasn't on gas and air, so I could see the needle and I could feel it. So that was, obviously came off of it, so it was horrible. So basically I went for a wee, it was fine. She took the needle out, I was like, yoo-hoo! So that needle was out. So yeah, it was out. And then basically after that, they gave me some toast. I don't even want the toast. Like I wasn't even hungry. I was just so overwhelmed with the fact my child was here. And then after that, it was all chill. River was all good. Then we obviously went to the sleeping bit. So basically after you give birth, it was at night. I think I gave birth to River at 10:28 at night. So yeah, obviously we had to stay over and just check it's all good. So when we got there to that site of the hospital, we basically had to change his nappy, put a nappy on him, and like wash him down. Now I didn't get a lot of support. Bear in mind that I'm a young mum. They didn't know that I never had a brother and sister. I'm the only child. I'm the youngest in the family. I literally had no clue if I should use hot or cold water, because obviously this newborn baby was just come out of you. What water would you choose? Like, I mean, that might sound like a dumb question, but for me, I didn't want to, I thought, yeah, hot water definitely, but I didn't want to burn my baby. Like, he's new out of me. Like, do you get what I mean? It was really odd. So I used a bit of cold water, and I remember the nurse coming along to me, and Jack said, oh, no, you need to use hot water. And I was thinking, it just made you feel a little bit embarrassed, but they didn't actually tell you. So I think the next time, like, they need to advise young people, because at the end of the day, it's like even younger people than me that give birth, like, you're not really supposed to know. Like, it's, how are you meant to know? So I was so exhausted. Basically I was up for 48 hours, had no food, no drink, nothing. The lady basically said, yeah, you need your sleep, like, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to be okay to breastfeed my child and stuff. So basically I just basically went to sleep, and Jack basically looked after River all night, like, for the first night. So I felt maybe a little bit guilty for that, but at the end of the day, I've just given birth to this human. I've literally been out of it for God knows how long. I just need to put my head back. And then I wake up, I think it was like 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning. I heard this little scream. Obviously he was hungry, so obviously I had to be up anyway. And I obviously tried to latch my baby onto my boob. Now that was really hard. I found breastfeeding really difficult. It wasn't the greatest. I really wanted to breastfeed. I only breastfed for 6 weeks, which I find still really good. Basically, I know it sounds really odd, but my boobs were still quite small. Like, I just felt like I just had no milk in there. I literally didn't have a lot. I mean, I had a bit. I tried to express. That didn't work at all. Nothing came out. Obviously, they say stress causes it, but I don't think I was stressed. And actually, the reason of causing why I could breastfeed was because River had a tongue tie. And I didn't even know. No one knew. No one told me. I didn't know. I actually had a tongue tie when I was a kid. So obviously, it must have run in the family. So yeah, he had a tongue tie, so for God knows how many weeks he's had this tongue tie. I hadn't been able to breastfeed. He's been screaming, crying, so I just put him on the bottle, and it was the best thing. So it's a shame that in the hospital they don't check, and I said unfortunately they can't check. I don't know why, but I remember having a meeting with them after, because that kind of destroyed my whole breastfeeding experience, which actually was really upsetting, because I really wanted to keep him on my boob, because it's the connection that you have with your child at the early stages. So that was upsetting, but it didn't kind of change my connection with him. He's still close to me, still in a bottle. So yeah, obviously I bottle fed him, if people would like to know. So yes, I did that I breastfed for 6 weeks on and off, but it wasn't properly. But I'll say 6 weeks because he did have a bit of breast milk, but I was a bit of bottles. So I'd probably say fully breast milk, probably like 3 maybe. But yeah, so altogether I put it at 6 weeks. And then the next day, family came in and saw him. And then yeah, that was it really. And then I took him home. Jack went to his house. The next day he came to mine. So obviously his child. Obviously we were together at the time. It was still a bit wavy. Like, it was still. Yeah, I don't think it was awkward. I just generally think it was just the fact that obviously you're going separate ways. Yeah, I'm taking his baby, and that's it. And normally as a family, you would obviously, both of you would take your child away, you'd be experience the first night, things like that, which obviously he did experience, and I didn't really either. So yeah, that was, I think, maybe difficult for him, because obviously, I mean, you would love to take your child home. It's your child. Like, there's nothing else better in the world. That's your child. Like, there's just nothing. So I think that was I think that was hard for him, and also me, I guess, because having that help in the nights. I know I had my mum, but it's just different when you're, and I know that experience is different because now I have Sam, and he's literally amazing with River, but you can just tell the difference of what it would be like if you were with someone, and obviously the experience of what you kind of equally share out for both of you to have your sleep and things like that. So obviously, single mums out there, you bloody rock, like, you go. That is my giving birth story. So I hope you guys enjoyed it so much. If you did, please give a like and subscribe. And also, I'm not sure, I know I'm going to do my next video, but I just wanted to do if you guys link a few comments down below and see what you guys want to see at my content, or what you want to for me to talk about, would be really helpful. I'm basically got a new camera for my birthday. My birthday was a few days ago, so I am going to be doing vlogs and stuff. A lot of this has just been a sit down chit chat, but I am going to be a lot more vlogs and my day-to-day life with River as well. I'm getting a new laptop as well, so I'm going to get it all set up first, but for now I'm going to do sit down ones, and hopefully my next video will be a vlog if my camera is set up correctly and my laptop. Bye!